Hey everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. I hope you had an amazing Christmas. Here I'll be showing you my Christmas dinner. It's a few days later than I wanted to, but you know, better late than never. Stay tuned.
Hashtag, I'm a big deal. I'm a big deal. Very, very, very important.
We're gonna start with the stuff that takes the longest time to cook. So here I'm putting the peas to start cooking and also the beef. This peas has been soaked overnight, so that's why it looks so, you know, nice and plump up and just, yeah. Gonna put that on. Now I think the peas boiled for about 2 hours. Now I liked in the pan here I have the peas with some water. I'm not going to put too much water at the moment because, you know, we want the peas to start boil up. Then we're going to add some more water later to kind of sink the peas. So, you know, it kind of speed up the cooking process. So now we're going with the beef. So I'm pot roasting this beef. So what I'm doing now is just searing all sides. Once it's seared on all sides, I'm going to remove it and I'm going to go in with some chopped onions and carrot. Gonna saute this for about 2 to 3 minutes, and I'm gonna add all the seasoning that was in the bag that I used to season the beef. Now I do have a separate video on me prepping all of this before the big day, and so I will put that out very, very shortly. Now, you know, we have to rinse out the bag and put the water in it. Now once this comes to a boil, I'm gonna put it on a lower flame and just leave it to just do its thing. Make sure you keep checking it and basting it so all those juices just get down in there. Just leave it on a low flame. Now I think this took roughly about 2 hours to get to the tenderness that I wanted it. Also here adding a bit of thyme. Now if at any point you realize that your liquid is dry now, just top it up with a little bit more water. Now for the goat, I am using the pressure cooker for the goat just to, you know, I've got so much things to do, so just to try and speed up the process. So in a pan with some coconut oil, I've gone in with about 3/4 of a tablespoon of curry powder just to burn it off a little bit. Then I'm gonna add my pre-seasoned goat. Now once I've kind of seared the goat, it's not a must, but I do like to do it, and added the water. I let this pressure for about 25 minutes. Now for me, the 25 minutes took it to about 3/4 of the way done. Then I'm gonna change the pan and just let it do its thing. Now for the roast chicken. Now all the seasoning that was in the bag with the roast chicken, I put it in a tray. Now I lined this with baking paper and foil paper. I've put the chicken on the rack and I'm gonna put it in the oven. I'm sprinkling a little bit olive oil. I've also, in that seasoning bit, got some fresh garlic and lemon as well. Just get that in the oven. Checking on my peas, it's still not quite there yet, so I'm gonna let it boil for a little bit and then add my coconut milk. Once I add the coconut milk, I'm gonna just let it go and bubble for about another 15 minutes. Now once my goat was 3/4 of the way done, as I said, I'm gonna transfer it to a different pot, add all my seasoning. So I'm going with onion, scallion, thyme, bit of pimento, pepper, ginger, garlic, sweet pepper, and just let this just do its thing. Guys, in this video I'm doing so many things at once, so it's probably going to be skipping in and out, but I do have videos on how I prepare these things on the channel, so you can go ahead and watch those videos if you want a more in-depth detail of how I prepare these. Now once my peas is nearly done, I'm going to go in with my seasoning, so you know, the scallion, the thyme, the pimento, the garlic, the ginger, the pepper. I added a little bit of my Maggi all-purpose seasoning instead of salt. Now if you want to use salt, that's totally fine, but I do like the taste that the Maggi gives it. Now hear me checking on my beef. Beef is, you know, it look almost done, you know. It was a bit sticking to the pot there, you know. Did forget about it over the corner, and I remember it. I said, "Whoa, the beef!" I had to go back and just try and salvage it. But yeah, as I said before, you know, if you need a little more liquid, just add a little bit more water. I decided to check the beef and realized that the beef is done, nice and just tender, done. So I'm just gonna take that off, slice it up, put it in a tray, cover it to one side. Now make sure when you're checking on your chicken, you do flip it over from time to time so the other side gets a little bit of color as well. What I'm doing here, I'm just poking it with some knife. I do like to poke up the chicken with a knife, cause you know, the little steam fly through the chicken, it cook a bit quicker for me, and also when you're basting it, all the little juices can go in. Now about 15 minutes towards the end of the chicken being done, I went in with a little butter just to get that nice glow on the skin. Now once this is done, once I finish cooking most things, I just transfer them to the my foiled container and just cover them, put them to the side, because you know we have a lot doing. We did a lot, but totally enjoyable. Now with your goat, what I did was, you know you get a lot of oil off of the goat, so just use your spoon and just skim off the excess oil. You're not gonna get everything, but get most of what you can. Now when the peas done and the seasoning well bubbled down and everything, you know, we're going with our rice, and we cooking this in the oven because stove top need to free up. Excess water, remove the excess water, throw a strainer, go back in with the peas. Yeah, once the water has reduced just a little bit under the surface of the top of where the peas and the rice settles, cover it with foil paper, as I said, into the oven. Because as I said, the stove top need to free up, because you know your girl just busy. Believe me, when I finished, I couldn't even stand up. Oh my god. But yeah, say goat done as well. Pot wash out, get ready for the next thing, cover it, put it to one side. Chicken just look juicy. Now what I did with the juice from the chicken as well, I just strained it off and made a little gravy. Now once your rice is done, make sure you remove the pepper, and well, pepper they burst in there, little pepper they even have no use too much half of the time. Pepper them over here, just I don't know what them for. But yeah, just use a fork, fluff up the rice ready. Make sure you know all of the rice grain them cook, everything looks perfect. Put it to one side. Jerk chicken on the pan outside. My son was doing this one, so there wasn't a lot of footage, but yeah, I just had to. He came out, he said, "Mama, you're not recording," so I just had to quickly run outside, do a quick video and run back in. Now this is the beef. I sliced it up and just pour the gravy over it as well, cover it, put it on the side. As you can see, the rice pot there, they will look at it something, and yeah, everything is just once it done on the side. Moving on to the mac and cheese. Cook up your cheese, your macaroni, cheese sauce, boom bang in a tray, extra cheese in between the layers. Go ahead and get that in the oven. Now, I saw a comment on one of my previous Christmas videos about people putting food in foil containers, and it's not, you know, I don't know, maybe it's not, you know, good etiquette, but let me tell you something. In my house, we don't have a formal sit-down meal. We are happy, we do our thing, everybody help themselves, we're good. Now, once the mac and cheese is in the oven, I did pre-cooked my potatoes from the previous night. Just once it cooled down, put it in the fridge. So it's just free up some time. So now literally in the pan with some beef fat and in the oven as well. Now, once those are done, I'm moving on to frying my fish. Mac and cheese done, fish done. You know, at this point I'm just literally on autopilot. I'm just like go because tired of lick now. I'm just want to sit down. So now I'm going to be doing my shrimp. So in a pan, melted butter, garlic, going with your seasoned shrimp, add a little bit of water. I went in with a packet of cock soup noodles and a packet of fish tea. Mix that together. Just strain off the noodles. We don't want the noodles. We just want the seasoning that's inside. A little bit of water. Cover it for about 5-6 minutes. Well, or until all the say all of the shrimp cook. You know, when the shrimp cook, cause all like turn pink, and just leave it 5-6-7 minutes depending on if it's cooked. Shrimp ready. Now, once the shrimp was ready, what I want, oh yes, sorry, I went in with a bit of scallion because I forgot the scallion in the beginning, but if you forget it, just throw it in there. It will still make a difference. Now, as I said, once the shrimp is finished, I remove the shrimp and just added a little bit of corn flour to the cornflour slurry to the sauce just to thicken it a bit. Now, the pepper that I seasoned up with wasn't giving what I wanted to give, so I just went in with a bit of my pepper sauce. But if your pepper is hot enough, you don't have to do that. But this is why it's important that when you're cooking, make sure you taste your pot. Now, I couldn't let the sauce go to waste, as I said, so a little bit of cornflour slurry, thicken it, and just put it on the side. You know, I didn't put it back over the shrimp. I put it on the side because just in case somebody want a little extra sauce to go and dip up them shrimp in her, then it was there. Now, moving on now to my lobster. Now, I'm gonna make some medallions out of the lobster. I had a bit of struggle, fight. I don't know who was fighting, if I may fight with the lobster did a fight with me, but some kind of fighting was going on to cut it, because I tell you, say the skin tough. But I realized once you kind of angle your knife and just jab it down, you can kind of cut off some nice little medallions just to go ahead and do what you're doing. Now, to remove the, you know, the what do you call it now? Yeah, the string, the doodle part. Oh, Father God. Sorry, I can't think of the name right now. The vein, not the vein. Anyway, that's something that we don't want tonight. Yeah. Once you slice them up, you can just literally pull it out with your fingers, as you see me doing here. A bit slimy, but you know, so we're right. We have to take it out because we don't want that for eat. So yeah. Oh my God. So anyway, once I've done this, I'm gonna clean my just quickly wash them off, and all I'm seasoning with now is literally a little bit of my Maggi all-purpose seasoning. But you can use any seasoning, your go-to seasoning. You know that seasoning where you know say just tastes good for everything, even a little bit of fish seasoning. And I'm gonna go ahead now, add some corn flour. Then we're gonna go ahead and start frying these. Now, I also had some shrimp that I did the exact same thing to mix with it. Now, once I start frying my lobster medallions are literally they don't need more than about 3-4 minutes, to be honest, because they're quite small. Even if they need that long, they may not, but they may. Just as usual, just make sure your stuff is cooked before you serve it. You know when it's cooked, because you know it just turns a different color. The color changes just as the shrimp, the color will change, and then you know it's cooked. But they don't need a long time to cook, so this bit was quite quick to do. Now I'm gonna make a sauce to go onto the lobster. So melted butter. I'm doing my Scotch bonnet honey butter sauce in this, so it's literally melted butter, garlic, a little bit of parsley, dried parsley in there. Went in with some honey, soy sauce. I added my Scotch bonnet pepper sauce and just a little bit of ketchup just to bind it all. Sauce is ready. Pour it over your lobster and your shrimp, and baby, now this did nice. When I tell you, say I didn't even eat much that day, because you know me, as usual, when Christmas dinner don't cook, I'm just not hungry, so I'm just literally sitting there watching everybody eat, and I'm just like, hey, I'm just here, like, and I was very, very, very tired as well, very. So here I am frying up my shrimp as well. It's not gonna take long, 2-3 minutes, done. We had veg, we had salad. Listen, it was just, in the end, everybody was hungry. They're like, oh, we need to eat. And baby, I just had to sit down. So here, just pour your sauce over your lobster and your shrimp. Give that a good mix. And I did just garnish it with a little bit of freshly chopped red chilies and spring onions. Yeah, as I said, you know, I was so tired. Everybody did hungry, and just here is the final look. Jerk chicken, Scotch bonnet honey butter, lobster and shrimp. You know, the rice done. You know, the baked chicken done. I did some coleslaw, did some potato salad, mac and cheese done, curry over there, so fish over there, so beef each up right there, so. When I tell you, whilst I was doing this video, everybody was just standing there with their plate, like shrimp done. You know, we have to come out. We had a nice piece up here. My sister decided to fry some plantain, and yeah, your girl was just over it. I'm a bit tired, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you had the best Christmas ever. Enjoy, eat, drink, and be merry. Catch you in the next video.